Welcome to StartupHakk. I'm Spencer Thomason, and here at StartupHakk, we love to train software developers and build custom software solutions. So I do a lot of work as a fractional CTO. With over a decade of executive leadership and a solid 25 years in software development, I've mastered the art of transforming technology, teams, and products. So let's talk about something today that's been bothering me a little bit. So I'm seeing too many junior software developers quit coding. They're not just quitting their job, they're trying to leave coding altogether because they're essentially giving up. The tech industry is tough right now, especially when you're just starting out. So junior developers often face rejection, long hours, and a steep learning curve. Many give up before they really get started, thinking they're not cut out for it. So let's dive in and wait, because before you stop and before you throw in the towel, let me tell you, this happens to everybody. So we've all been there, myself included. Let's dive into this today. All right, so again, I'm seeing too many junior developers quit right now. And I don't mean just quit, I mean quit technology altogether. They're saying this market's too tough. They're saying that they're never going to get to the level they need to. They say they're never going to get a job. Now, I think there's a couple of problems here. I think very first of all, I think there was some inflated expectations that came about through 2021, 22, and maybe, in 2020, 2021, and then into 2022. 2023 hit with all the big layoffs, and since we've seen the last rough 18 months in the tech department, in the tech area, we're seeing a lot of junior developers who it is harder for them to get into new jobs. But we're going to talk about that today and give some suggestions, as well as tell you, what my thoughts on this matter is. So, one of the biggest reasons new developers quit is because they're focusing on the wrong things. You're chasing the perfect algorithm, the latest framework, or worrying about being a coding rock star. Or the other problem that I'm seeing too is too many junior developers are expecting a six-figure salary right out of the gate. So the truth is, when you're starting out, you should focus on writing clean, functional code. Nothing more, nothing less. It's okay if your code isn't elegant. What matters is that it works and that you're learning. The obsession with perfection can paralyze you, and that's where many new developers stumble. So another reason that developers quit is because the job market for juniors is incredibly competitive right now. Companies want people with experience, but how do you get the experience without landing a job? It feels like a catch-22, but here's the key. Get any job where you're writing code, even if it's not your dream gig. Those first 2 years are all about gaining experience. I can't stress this enough. You've got to get those first 2 years of experience. Once you've got a solid resume, you can then level up to some better opportunities. So one of the best ways to really dive in and learn is go back and check out our previous videos. We have hundreds of free coding samples, and I'm not exaggerating when I say free. Like, you go to GitHub, you download them, all free. Hundreds of free coding samples. And if you go look at the first repo and you only see 200, there's a link down at the bottom for another 200 and something. So there's like 500 free coding samples out there, and we're adding more every day. So that's one of the first things. And I want to tell you a little story about my first job. So I actually was just started back to school at a CS degree, and I was working at the electric company taking phone calls, right? People call up, and we're in Phoenix, so people are calling to complain about how expensive their bill is. And they'd call in, and so anyways, I was in the call center, and I found out that they had an old VB6 app. This was 1999. I found they had an old VB6 app that a contractor had written for them, and they didn't know what to do with. So the technical support group was looking for somebody who could help him with this VB6 app, and it just came about from a conversation. I can't remember exactly what conversation originally was. So I went to the manager. He's like, "You're just on the phones, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Come over here." So she just pulled me off the phones, and for the first year that I was coding, I coded for him as a customer service specialist, right? I was still just, she didn't change my job, she didn't change my pay. I was making a bit over minimum wage just because that's what they paid, but not a ton. Essentially minimum wage. But I was so excited to be off the phones and writing code. And then for the next 4 years, we ended up moving me into a position as a kind of an analyst. But I wrote code for him for the first 5 years of my experience, and I got so much experience. And I've got crazy stories to tell about the kind of stuff that I hacked together because I would run servers under my desk and stuff like that because it was all for the internal application. Gave me just a plethora of experience right off the bat. So just take a job where you can write some code. Don't worry about the pay for those first couple years. So let's not forget about the mental strain of constant learning. Technology is always evolving, and that's true. And as a developer, you need to keep up. It's exhausting. I get it. But here's a secret. No one knows everything. The key is to stay curious and not let the learning curve intimidate you. The other key there is to learn how to learn. You don't need to master every new technology that pops up. You just need to know how to find the right answers when problems arise. It's okay to ask questions, even if you feel like you should already know the answer. Now, I know that a lot of people fight with like imposter syndrome. Don't worry about it. You're going to get better. You'll get more experience. And so I see a lot of junior developers who are really bothered because they don't have all the answers at first. And look, I've been coding for 25 years and I still don't have all the answers. I still have to go look stuff up. It happens, right? But learn how to learn and learn how to go learn the stuff you need to learn and learn how to spot things that you should be able to know. Now, another issue is the constant comparison with other developers. Social media is full of coding prodigies showing off their latest projects. It can make you feel like you're falling behind because you don't have 12 GitHub projects and you're not running $1 million side hustle. Trust me, comparing yourself to others will only slow you down. The journey is unique and everyone progresses at their own pace. Don't worry about the 12-year-olds who just built an AI-powered rocket ship. Focus on your own growth. The key is persistence. And remember, you've got plenty of things to be able to learn from. Just stay persistent. That's the most important thing. It's good to be bad at things for a little while. I know that sounds funny, but it's actually a superpower to be able to be bad at something for a little while. So many junior developers also get discouraged by imposter syndrome. You might feel like you don't belong in the field or that everyone else knows more than you. Let me tell you something. Imposter syndrome really never goes away. Even after 25 years in this business, I still experience it from time to time. So it's just really, honestly, this is just your mind working against you. The trick is to embrace it. Say, yeah, I don't know everything, and that's okay. Embrace it, keep pushing forward. You're not an imposter, you're just learning. That's exactly what you should be doing. And people love when they hear that you're learning. This is a good thing. It's a good thing to push through those. So here's another challenge, getting feedback. When you're a junior developer, every code review can feel like a personal attack. Not take it personally when someone tells you your code isn't good enough. But remember, feedback is how you grow. So instead of feeling defeated or trying to avoid that feedback, look at it as an opportunity to improve. Everyone's code gets picked apart, even the best developer out there. And honestly, after years in the industry, you'll learn to love feedback because it helps you level up. And that is how you level up. So one of the things that we offer here is we offer consulting services here at StartupHakk. And so we love taking on students who want to code, want to learn, and maybe they know code, so they're maybe past the boot camp phase, but they just need some consulting. We offer that here for a very reasonable price. So hit us up at startuphakk.com/Spencer, and we'd love to help you out if that's where you're at. I just got an email last night from a guy who's been running a business for a long time and was like, hey, what about this versus this, and how do you think about this? I love it. Honestly, it's like the best compliment I get, and I feel so awesome being able to help people because I love to provide that feedback. And the funny thing about it is, guess what I did? I say, actually, I kind of like some things I saw on your website. Can I hit you up? Right? So I grabbed a link on his Calendly so that I could visit with him. I was looking for my own feedback, right? Even after 25 years, I'm still trying to level up. That's how you level up. You don't level up in a bubble. All right. It's also important to recognize that coding isn't about writing perfect code. It's about solving problems. Sometimes the solution is messy, but if it works, it works. Other times, I've seen developers and junior developers who are like, whoa, this answer is way too simple. There's got to be something more complex. I'm like, no, actually, simple's great. We love simple. So you'll have plenty of time to refactor your code and improve it later. Early on, focus on functionality over form. Don't stress over having the cleanest, most optimized code in the world. Just make sure you get the job done. So, and again, make sure you check out our previous code videos because we have hundreds of free code samples. So if you're a junior developer and you're like, hey, I wonder what Spencer did with this, man, go hit up our code samples, right? So let's talk about career progression. You might feel stuck at the entry-level role, but guess what? That's super normal. Those first few years are all about building your foundation. It's easy to look around and see senior developers and wonder how you're going to get to that big six-figure salary. Trust me, if you stick with it and keep coding, you will get there. After 2 to 3 years of real-world experience, your options will open up significantly. Trust me. Keep your head down, build your skills, and the opportunities will follow. The other thing that I've coached junior developers there is it's great to go to your boss or to your manager and say, hey, I just kind of want to know, so we all have expectations. I'm trying to grow to a level 2. Now, if you come in if you've been coding for 3 months and you're like, hey, I want to do this, this is a terrible idea. I'm saying after a year or two, go to your manager and just say, hey, I'm interested in becoming a level 2 developer. What are your expectations for me to be able to hit that level 2 developer? So a lot of developers quit because they're not passionate about coding every single day. And you know what? That's okay too. Coding can be frustrating, and it is mentally exhausting. There'll be days when you're completely burnt out. Don't confuse those bad days with a reason to quit. Everyone go through slumps, even batters, football players, everybody, even the most successful developers. So the key is to recognize that it's part of the journey and not let those rough patches define your path. I see far too many people who set a goal, and maybe the goal is life is about the quest. It's about the journey. And I know that sounds trite, but honestly, after 25 years, I would really just tell you to enjoy that. Enjoy those parts. And especially as a junior developer, I look at it two ways. You can either, and so this is really important counsel for those of you who are senior, who might be listening, who mentor junior developers. Remind them of some of these things, or send them this video, right? Because we do great videos, right? And I love when people share my videos. Now I forgot what I was saying. Anyways, so the reality is that being a software developer isn't always glamorous. You're not always going to be creating groundbreaking apps. You're not going to be solving the quantum leap, right? Sometimes you're just fixing bugs, writing documentation, or maintaining old code. But the beauty of this career is that it's problem solving. Each task, no matter how small, is part of a bigger picture. And as long as you're learning and growing, you're on the right track. So keep learning. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And finally, don't quit because of short-term setbacks. If you struggle with a code or you feel like you're not good enough, understand these feelings are super temporary. You'll get better. Everyone starts somewhere, and the only way to improve is by sticking with it. 2 years down the line, you'll look back and realize how much you've grown. So keep pushing through those tough times because this is a very rewarding career. I love it, and I've seen a lot of people be blessed in this line of career. Too many junior developers are quitting coding because before they've had the chance to truly grow. The tech industry is tough right now, and the learning curve is steep, but stick with it. Remember that you can either pay to learn or you can get paid to learn, but you might not get paid as much, and that's okay. And that second part is the other piece of counsel I really want to make sure that I give to our junior developers. Don't get frustrated by the market right now. It will turn around. I've seen this time and time again, from the dot-com bust to the 2008 recession to COVID to, and more. There's been more even in 25 years. So there's up and downs in every industry. Stick with it. Whether it's focusing on the wrong things, facing rejection, or battling imposter syndrome, the challenges are real. So I'm not telling you you're wrong in thinking those, but I promise they're not insurmountable. So with experience comes confidence. And after just 2 years of coding in the real world, you'll be amazed at how many doors will open up for you. So don't give up. So what do you agree? Seniors that are listening, what would you tell me that's different? Here at StartupHakk, we love to train software developers in our coding boot camps, as well as provide custom software coaching. We also love to build custom software solutions for companies. So if your company needs some help building some software, reach out to us at startuphakk.com/Spencer. I can go over everything from small one-off consulting all the way up to helping you establish a large team. So hit us up, and because we'd love to help you out. So check those out today. And again, don't forget to go back and check out our previous coding videos because we have hundreds of free coding samples, and we will catch you guys next time. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel because we bring you lots of great tutorials and tips that every developer should know. See you next time.